Hi, I'm AJ Nash, a digital intelligence advocate here at Authenticate, and I wanted to briefly run through another use case for law enforcement and why the Silo platform is so easy to use. I've already gone ahead and set myself up on Tor and taken a look through some of the dark web just to get us in a good position just to save time, right? So a couple of places you can go. I mean, you can go anywhere you want, really, right? But Tor Links is a good place to pull a whole bunch of different places that you might want to look at. There's also a couple of different other spots here. Torlinks.io is another one that we could take a look at. Actually, that's a pretty good one. Let's take a quick peek at that. So if you ever go to torlinks.io, this is great because they'll give you a whole list of trusted sites, which is kind of nice. And generally they work, which is good for those who haven't spent any time in here. And the great thing about a website like this is you can actually get reviews on how things are on these websites. So I'm going to take a look at one that we're going to see here in a minute. So Abacus Market, for instance, a rather significant criminal marketplace. Now look, you can get a little snapshot of what the site looks like, find out how long they've been in business, what kind of currencies they accept, and a nice description. And then, of course, the link if you want to go visit the site. So there's plenty of places to look around, but I'm going to go ahead and assume, for the sake of this discussion, a lot of people know what they're looking for. So the key here, again, is I'm now in the dark web. I didn't have to set up a network. I didn't have to work with engineering. I don't have to worry about being protected. I'm already obfuscated. I'm secure. I'm in a safe location, where nobody knows where I am when I'm coming into the system. And also, I've got all my other tools available to me. So, I've got a secure storage. I've got my Silo drive set up so I can go and save things that I want to save as I'm going through. I can set up my collection very quickly if I want to. I can set up a case, for instance, if I want to do some studying on this stuff. So let's create a case. We'll call it guns and drugs, because that's what we're going to work on here today really quickly. And then we can just start capturing things. So here we are. I've already moved into one of the websites. So here's some guns. If you want to take a look at Euroguns, so you want to get a Walther PPK, Desert Eagle 44 cal, nice gun, Sig Sauer P226, for instance, and what the going rates are on that. And you'll see, because I set up collection, we're already getting snapshots. Actually, we don't have one yet, but we will. I'll grab one real quick manually. It would have done it automatically. And we can move on to another website, BMG, their website address, as they point out here, changes pretty frequently, so they keep track of it. And you can dig in and take a look at some of the offerings that they have available, whether it's a CZ P07 or a Colt Mustang, or something like Keltec, SMG 22, or an H&K MP5, nice firearms, and the Smith & Wesson. So, and you can go on and on here. So again, if you want to make some purchases to see if people are selling illegally, this would be a way to go check that out, of course. And we'll take a look and see how collections is working there. Yeah, see, now we do have a couple snapshots. So this is being collected automatically. I'll show you what that looks like at the end. Say you want to check on some drugs. We can go take a look here at Charlie UK. Apparently they're a great cocaine vendor. That's what they say, at least. Also have heroin, crystal, all the things you might want. Crack. I'm not sure who's buying crack on the internet, but pretty sure you can get that anyplace. Anyway, all the drugs you can want available here. So again, you can set up all sorts of buys and operations, or just understand what the marketplace looks like. Same thing with weed. Now, again, weed's pretty easy to come by. It's legal in most places now. But if you were looking for illegal purchases, whether it's Purple Kush or Afghani, over here in the UK, you could check that out, right? Or let's say you want to look for fake IDs, see what the marketplace is for that. Now, again, you could do a purchase if you wanted to find out if they're any good, or if it's just a scam. Law enforcement has the ability to make some of those moves. But otherwise, you can just see what the market looks like and what it costs to purchase some of these things. And all of this now has been collected. You see, we got 5 snapshots. So we've got all these things available to us, right? And then let's go ahead and stop that. Take a look at the case viewer really quickly. We'll pull up our case. And let's take a look at what that looks like so far. And here's all the websites we went to. So everything's been pulled in and collected for us. We've got our addresses, as you can see here, the date and time this happened. We can take notes if we want to. We can do some annotations on here. So your entire research project, and obviously this is a small snapshot, but if you were going for a long period of time, all your research being collected so that you can take a look and see what's there. That one's taking a little time to process, but it will. And you can see your entire project right there. Now, I mentioned Abacus Market. I don't have this in this browser because I had a challenge getting in there. Apparently my account got kicked. So I had to start a new browser and start a new account. But it was important enough to take a look at it. So this happens to be in a different browser. which means I'm going to go ahead and set up the case again, but I'm going to tie it back to the guns and drugs case and start capture on this as well. And so Abacus Market, a massive marketplace for all sorts of drugs, among other things, of course, but serious work here. You get an Adderall, a lot of pharmaceuticals, right? So not just the obvious illegals, but illegal pharmaceuticals as well. So somebody wanted to look to see about counterfeiting, for instance, or just buying illegal drugs. This is a good website to take a look through that. You do have to set an account up here. It's a rather significant amount of work, quite frankly, and then being able to maintain it. That's why I got kicked and had to start over. But it is something that's available to us. And then you can take a look here again. I didn't pull a snapshot fast enough, so I'll pull it myself. It would have if I stuck around for a couple minutes there. And then we can stop that and check our case viewer. And I check our guns and drugs case again. Let it load up really quickly, and I'm certain that we're going to see all the pictures we just had, plus this extra one that I just put in. Yep, and there's everything. And everything's loading up there. Those are big, so they're taking a second to load is all. But again, you've got your whole case right there available to you. And again, the key component here is that all of this is secure and protected. You know, getting into the deep and dark web isn't nearly as difficult or challenging as it used to be, or as risky, quite frankly. You do have to set up accounts. Obviously, you have to be able to have some accesses there. And again, we have the ability to host, if you're working on different messaging platforms, for instance, Telegram or Discord, or Signal, or some of those things that you want to use. You're going to have those implemented within the platform as well. And you do have the collection component there. We do have an SMS inbox if you had to have, two-factor authentication. We do have an inbox that's capable of that. I have to load my phone number up there. You can see some have been set up there. So that's just, an example, again, of some of the things you can do on the deep and dark web very quickly with this platform. It's why I love using it. It's very simple. It's safe. And you can pull up a lot of information and do some research very, very quickly for all your law enforcement needs.